Although speaking of movies that people are complaining about profusely,
Do I want to
oh,
know?
what? The Last Jedi is doing worse and worse week upon week. Apparently, it took
That's
its second
strange.
it took its second plunge after like its second or third week out from release. I'm like, oh dear.
I find that very odd because I hasn't that movie already made like $1 billion worldwide?
Plus, a friend of mine actually saw it, and they said that it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't anything special. It was just okay.
See, I'm gonna check right now on a movie. What's it called? Box Office Mojo.
And I was planning on going with a coworker sometime later in the week if our work schedules don't get wonky, because she and I were thinking of seeing it because we're both kind of sci-fi nuts. We talk about Star Wars and Doctor Who on and off when it's slow at work.
Yep, I can confirm it's made $1.2 billion and is the most profitable movie of 2017. So, but it's a really weird thing looking at the reaction to Star Wars: The Last Jedi because people are seeing the movie, and yet it does have this steep decline at the box office. Where you're right, it has dropped off. Where it's like it looks like maybe the majority of its $1.2 billion was made during like the initial weekend or two. And then people were like, okay, we saw it. We don't need to watch it again. Because I'm looking at the results for The Force Awakens, and it made $2.06 billion. So The Force Awakens made twice as much as The Last Jedi right now. So I guess it is considered somewhat of a flop because it's only making half of what the last movie did. Although, again, looking at it compared to other movies, I guess by Star Wars standards, it is flopping, but by regular movie standards, for a movie
It's
that has
doing pretty well.
oh yeah, especially for a $200 million budget, making $1 billion in return, that's basically making like 5 times its budget back, which is great. But on the other hand, I can see why that it can be a flop because given that this is Star Wars, I'm sure a lot of money has been poured into the marketing for this movie and the merchandising and everything else that comes with it. So it is kind of weird how it's like people are saying it's a success and then other people saying it's a failure. Some people say critically it's a success. Other people say critically it's a failure. It's like straight down the middle between whether or not people see this as a success or failure. Personally, I really enjoyed The Last Jedi. But I can understand if people have issues with it. It's just those issues never bothered me for the most part. But I guess only for me personally, I guess only time will tell as to whether or not this movie will be seen as a bright spot in Star Wars history or a dark spot. Because at this point, it's just all over the place right now from what I've been seeing.
One comment I read from someone said, and I quote, "It's because of this movie I have forgiven episode 2." And I'm like,
oh, come on.
like,
No. Episode 2 was not that bad.
No, episode 1 was bad. Episode 2 was okay, I guess.
I really love episode 3.
Yeah,
3 was good. My only complaint was how hammy some of the acting was.
Oh god,
Which
yeah.
I guess carried over from the first 2.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't the fault of the actors. It was the fault of George Lucas. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 when you have a big franchise because you have a lot of people that have a predetermined bias because they're probably fans of not only the original trilogy, but there are those out there that are fans of stuff from the expanded universe, like the books, the video games.
Oh, yeah.
And when that no longer became canon, the expanded universe fans became very angry and very vindictive.
Oh yeah, I do wonder if I know a lot of the criticism goes towards the treatment of Luke Skywalker's character and how and the direction they went with a lot of the characters because I guess I don't know whether or not they hate the fact that it doesn't align with what they hope for. can compare it to the Star Wars Legends expanded universe, or they just don't like the treatment of Skywalker's direction in general. Maybe that could be the later rather than the former. But I guess, like, you're right. They do have expectations for how this is supposed to go. It doesn't fit their expectations, doesn't meet their high expectations. So they say, okay, this doesn't fit my expectations. This doesn't meet my standards. So this is automatically terrible, which I guess could be the case for any movie. But given how popular Star Wars is, it's like Star Wars fans can be very, very passionate about when it comes to how they want to see Star Wars get handled.
I saw one comment based on how the Star Wars fan base was fighting amongst themselves with each other. I think someone said something to the effect of Star Wars, the Sonic fan base of 2017. Like, oh,
a lot of my fans a lot of my friends have also been looking at the Star Wars fan base as in a very negative light, where it's well, a lot of my friends have been saying, "Oh, Star Wars fans, they're never satisfied with they can't be satisfied. They can never be satisfied. Nothing can. Something always has to be wrong with with any new thing that comes out." But you're right. That does sound very parallel to the Sonic fan base. It's like Sonic fan base in general, they don't know what they want. They want something. They want 3D games, or they want the 2D games. They want modern Sonic. They want classic Sonic. What do you want, fan base?
We want this and that, and here and that, and most of that, less of this, and fucking all of that. And another thing, we want it now. We want it yesterday, and we want it tomorrow. And all our demands are going to change, so fucking stay awake. Just to paraphrase Billy Connolly.